Welcome to the Crimeycade Podcast. I'm Master Crime Fighter, back again for another episode of, another episode of my pod, and this is episode number 50. Bit of a journey, what hasn't it been, to reach a minor milestone, as I've done 50 different podcasts, and I've done fractions of a podcast too, along the way. So technically, done a few more than 50, but don't matter. In terms of my numbering system, this is officially the 50th podcast of the Crimeycade, and welcome in here on this Thursday night. My guest will be joining me in a bit. He was doing a class in the hour before the podcast began, so he's on his way home and should be able to join me at any time. But in the meantime, gonna go through the few announcements that I go through every week, and here we go. Last week we had Leonard Herman, who was the author of The Phoenix, The Fall and Rise of Video Games, and there will be a 5th edition of this book to be coming out late this year. If you haven't listened to the podcast, go back and listen to it. But he's writing another book, and apparently he's going to put my name in the book this time around because I mentioned a significant title that is tied to the current video game crash of 2024-2025, which may necessitate him putting back the rise and fall of video games back in the title, because he removed it for the 4th edition, but apparently it fits for the 5th edition. So, we'll see. And new high scores, and I should have taken these two out, but whatever. New high scores in the last 7 days, and Andrew Orwasco still on a tear, taking the highs for Marverland, which was higher than the highest T20 score that happened during that weekend. The game was unveiled last Monday or so. No, it was last week. Regardless, Andrew took the high, and they finally created a new scoring track for the Destroyer from Jail. The T20 track was just a single man, but now it's set to 3 lives. I don't know if they fixed the monitor because it was overscanned to the right. It needed to be moved over a little bit so you could see the enemies coming out in order to defend yourself from the enemy shots. But Andrew took the high, 723,000 points. John Liming is back. He took the house high on Lightbringer. Score was verified. And he nearly got 4.5 million points on that. Far higher than any T20 score. And not quite a 1cc, but very close. So John Liming's back. Hopefully, he's in the mix for the Gamer of the Year competition, but we'll get to that in a bit. Also, Pete Hahn, on the new scoring track for Final Fight, raised the score up a little bit more. Kind of added 100,000 points to his last run on the game. So 2.7 million on that. Flame Gunner, which was a Monday mystery game a couple of weeks ago. Brad Bach took the score back from Andrew Orwasco, besting his score by another couple million points, and now is at nearly 4.4 million. It is not 1cc yet, according to Tom Nider. And finally, Bid Falls has a new house high at Galloping Ghost Arcade on Journey at 450,000 points. Of course, if you're going to go for the world record, you're going to have to score a couple million. So, Bid Falls quite a bit of distance away, but he is on a tear and very much a contender for Gamer of the Year. And if you haven't been following my Facebook page, I need 100 followers so I can stream on that too, besides Twitch. And the chase for tokens. Well, as you can see, Andrew Wasco still is pulling away from James White, who was Professor Token Taker for a number of years. And right now, I'm sitting in fourth. Hopefully I can move up. Chris Blackie has not crossed the 4,000 threshold. Of course, he hasn't been at the arcade to even move up the rankings, so I don't know. Pete Gorse did break the 5,000 mark. Melt Walters broke 6,000. And the power rankings. Yes, those infamous power rankings. As you can see, I'm not going to put this full screen. Oh, I can't make it any bigger. Doggone it. Anyway, there's a little bit of a gap here. Yeah, there's going to be a battle for fourth place. Chris Blackie, John Liming. John Liming's looking to move up a little bit more. I'm sitting here in 8th place, although there's a bit of a cluster over here. Pete Gorse has not been able to appear at the arcade for quite some time. Neither has Eric Pearl. The only movement in these rankings is Mossy, John Liming. Obviously, Andrew Owasco still putting those high scores in, and now sitting at 205 high scores at the Galloping Ghost Arcade. But Ben Falls, you see him down here, 7 house highs at the Galloping Ghost, so he's got a lot of room. He's very much knocking on the door of Fat Chris. Then he's got a bit of a climb to get over Brian Skillo, Daniel Siam to break into the top 15. And I believe my guest has joined me at this moment. So let me continue on with the announcements while he's settling in. So the Gamer of the Year odds. I've been resisting, I haven't had a clue. Oh, by the way, I gotta make sure. Oh, good. I had a bit of a technical glitch last week. Doggone slideshow wasn't even showing on the stream last week because of a change that StreamYard made. But now I've confirmed that you can see this screen over here. So anyway, Gamer of the Year odds. This is my first. We're 6 months away for the crowning of the 2025 Gamer of the Year. Right now, this is my initial assessment because there's not a lot of stuff to go on right now. But Andrew Owasco, Ben Falls, the winner of T20 2025 right now. I give them 25% each. Ben Falls is really getting those old classic games. Set new house highs for those. But being that the winner of T20 has gotten the Gamer of the Year belt the last 2 years, I guess I gotta put that up there, even if it's Justin Bithell. John Liming's back, setting new scores, and so I gotta put him in the mix. Someone else, gotta give him 10% of a chance. But this is early. We're 6 months, a little less than 6 months away from the crowning of the new Gamer of the Year. And the big announcement, which was a big disappointment to many, and a sad bit of news. The One Up Arcade in Brisbane, Australia will be having their final coin drop in the month of May. They are closing. Kind of unfortunate. That was the largest arcade in the nation of Australia, and it's going away soon. Hopefully, I'll have Stephen Holmes on my pod sometime during the summer. We can kind of reflect on the aftermath of the closure and what will happen going forward. Well, and with the closure of One Up Australia, will Arcade Wars still go on? Don't know yet. But if One Up Arcade is usually the one who is basically administering these Arcade War matchups, if they're out of the picture, I mean, someone else is going to have to step up to keep this going, but we'll have to see. But Metal Slug, the final is in, and the winner is the High Score Arcade in Colorado. One Up Arcade in Brisbane, second place. And next weekend, not this coming weekend, but Galloping Ghost Arcade will be holding its Swap Meet. Been a while for this. Saturday, the 15th of March. Free admission. Kind of a sale. You've got video games, consoles. Galloping Ghost is going to sell some PCBs. So, bit of a mini garage sale for gamers. On Saturday 15th, this will be in their production building, the same building where they have the T20 competitions. And now I have to bring this up. Blade Wars Tournament, and by the way, they've announced that Mortal Kombat 2 will be the game that they will contest over at the Headless Horseman Arcade, but that's postponed till May. Blade Wars Tournament has postponed Tekken 7. Yeah, March 22nd, they postponed it. What the heck is going on? It seems like they can't seem to hold a tournament unless it's at Galloping Ghost Arcade itself. Maybe they'll explain it at some point. So, I don't know when it's going to happen, but Headless Horseman, Galloping Ghost Arcade will have the Breaker's Revenge tournament on April the 27th, 3 o'clock. And I'll be there for that. And if you're in the Springfield area, the Midwest Toy and Comic Fest will be coming on March 22nd. Yeah, that's the alternative. I guess I'll be going to that now. Paul Niemeyer will be at this convention, as is the voice actor for Sonic the Hedgehog. They misspelled Paul Niemeyer's name. Yes. The artist for Mortal Kombat and a whole slew of different arcade games, they misspelled his name. Good grief. I don't know what the heck happened there. Same organizer will be holding the same convention in Decatur a month later. Brian Colton will be there for that. And next slide. And Midwest Gaming Classic, April 4th through the 6th. At the Park Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I will be there. This is the convention that I cannot miss. So, and let me throw this next slide. So, C2E2 will be at, yes, the same week, the week after, April 11th through the 13th. Galloping Ghost Arcade will have a major presence at the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there this time around because it's a week after the Midwest Gaming Classic. And there's another convention that will happen the weekend after, and that will be the Como Retro Gaming Convention at the Northeast Center in Columbia, Missouri. And I don't want to keep my guest waiting any longer than he has to because he's a pretty big guest as far as I'm concerned. It was kind of on a whim that I started, let's say, I need a guest for episode 50 of the Crimeycade. And who was I going to get? And I wasn't even sure. So I fired it out to this gentleman. And because, I had a bunch of people who said they wanted to come on the podcast and nobody was available. They previously said they wanted to come on the podcast. Their schedules didn't match up. So I had to find somebody complete. I had to find somebody. And, was my pod significant enough to have a higher caliber guest yet? I don't know. I still don't know the answer to that question. I know a guest I've had weeks ago had throughout the figure of speech that he was suffering from imposter syndrome, that he didn't think he was as big of a deal as he's being portrayed by others to be. Maybe I kind of feel the same way a little bit, but then again, I'm a former Game of the Year. I was born in 1991 Nintendo Campus Challenge National Champion, and I was a recent entry into the Guinness World Book of Records Gamers Edition. So, I sent a message on a whim to this gentleman, and he's pretty well known in the gaming community. If you play arcade games and fighting games, you should know who this gentleman is, because he's pretty well known. And at the Galloping Ghost Arcade, you can see this gentleman pretty frequently, because he's been a trainer at Galloping Ghost Gamma, but also he's a military veteran. He's also, a professional bodybuilder, even at the age of 60. He's got a lot of other talents. I know, he's in IT like I am, in some form or fashion. And I am very happy to bring this gentleman on to the Crimeycade Podcast. You know him as Jackson Briggs of the Mortal Kombat franchise. But he's known to many as John Parrish. Welcome in.
What's up? What's up? Hey, how you guys doing today out there?
Bit. What's up? Man, I have to pan the camera a little bit. Yeah, I can hear you. Although, if I go to this view, there you go. See, I have to zoom in and out because, I don't want this letterbox around, but get a close-up on your face. I hope this stabilizes. Well, let me just throw a question out there, and then we'll just try. We'll see how your connection is while you're talking instead of me. So I kind of want to touch on areas that other podcasters haven't. So I had went back and watched a couple other podcasts that you've done over the years. So my first question to you is, did you get into gaming before Mortal Kombat? And what got you into gaming?
No, in my generation, we didn't play a lot of video games. The games we had was Pac-Man. What? Hello? Donkey Kong. Those are the games that we grew up on. But we didn't play a lot because we were in California. We were outside all of the time.
Before Mortal Kombat, were you into gaming at all, or was Mortal Kombat your first foray into the gaming scene?
Mortal Kombat was my first time into the gaming scene.
I think everything is stabilized finally. Let's proceed. I think everything's stable. So, I've heard the stories. I listened to previous podcasts you were in, where you explained that you were friends with some of the Mortal Kombat actors at the same health club that you were a trainer at. I guess I don't want to reinvent the wheel, but for those who are hearing your story for the first time, can you give a brief recap of how you got into the Mortal Kombat franchise?
I got into it from Danny Pacina, and him, Tony Marquez, and Rich DeVizio. We were all training at the Lakeshore Athletic Club here in Chicago, and I would show them different techniques of how to jump, how to lift weights. They show martial arts, and they were working on Mortal Kombat 1 already. And when it was completed, they brought Danny brought one of the cabinets to the club. So he asked me, he was excited. He said he wanted me to try it out. And, I'm used to Miss Pac-Man, one joystick and a couple of buttons, and that's it. And this thing had 8 buttons and a joystick. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell is this? But I started playing it. I got used to it. And I'm like, this is a good game. I said, this should be a #1 hit. The kid's going to love it. And then I made a joke. I said, but there's one problem, man. There's one problem. He said, what? There's no brothers in the game. Oh, what happened? And then a couple of weeks later, because Mortal Kombat 1 took off and was a big success, they were about to start 2, and they brought me in the sketch of Jax. And I said, cool, man, that dude's ripped. I said, who's going to play him? He said, you, if you want to. I said, really? He said, yep. I said, do I get paid? He said, yep, I'm in. Where do I go? And that's history. That's how it started.
And I have this handy. Yeah, the arcade 1-up in a tabletop form. Say again?
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Joystick and 8 buttons.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, yeah. Almost 8 buttons. Shoot. Looks like 7 there. But 7 player. Gosh. Yeah. Street Fighter has 6 buttons for the punches and the kicks, and yours has 2 punch buttons, 2 kick buttons, a block, and a run. Which, goodness.
That was more buttons than Miss Pac-Man.
Well, yeah. I like Miss Pac-Man too, but jeez. So you come from a background kind of early on, and I had to. That part of my prep was looking at past podcasts you did. You have a connection to the band The Whispers. Or at least your family does.
They're like my uncles. My father was their band. Yeah, my father was the band director for over 35 years. So they used to rehearse in our home in California. And yes, they're like my uncles.
I didn't exactly remember who the Whispers were, and I had to go looking up their names, and it's like, okay, I recognize this song. Rocksteady was their biggest top 40 hit, although they were a rhythm and blues band.
No, the biggest one The biggest one was "And the Beat Goes On."
The beat goes on. Okay.
And the beat goes on. That was the biggest.
I seem to also recall you met all the major names in the music industry during that time. Michael Jackson was, I heard that name dropped. What were some of the others
Yep,
you've
I
met over
met
the
him. I
years?
met Patti LaBelle. Let's see, Shalimar, OJ's, Temptations, um, George Clinton. Oh God, there's so many of them I met. Lakeside, Dynasty, Cameo. You know, basically, I mean, we met Teddy Pendergrass at a concert, Luther Vandross. So, I mean, I've met so many growing up in that industry.
Did you have any inclination to I guess create and put out music?
No, you mean be an artist? No. I do play the horn. I read music, but I do not want to be on the stage and no.
Like you didn't record a
You
song
know,
and put out an
the
album,
best I
like
wanted to
no
do,
inclination.
no, 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 no. I knew that early on. I mean, because I was always behind the scenes, so I've seen everything, and I'm like, nah, that's all right. Y'all can have it. It's more work than people think it is.
So instead of getting into the music industry any further, you shifted to athletics, and you're a professional bodybuilder.
Yes,
I see what's
but I
going
mean, I've
on. There
always
is a
been into
delay.
athletics.
I do see what's
Yeah,
going on with our stream.
there's
There
a
is a
delay.
delay. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm gonna wait about 5 seconds and before attempting to re-ask anything. Um, so, what got you into bodybuilding as a professional and entering those competitions?
In the military, we were bored, so we used to power lift all the time. Me and a group of other soldiers, and they had competitions in powerlifting. And I was pretty good at it. I just hated one lift, and that was called the deadlift. So when the season was over, we still kept lifting weights. We had to have something to do. So somebody said, "Hey, let's do bodybuilding like Arnold and them." So we started training for that. However, I wanted to know what we were training and why. Okay, how do the muscles actually move? So I studied it, and the military paid for half of it. And then so that is how I really got started. And that was in 1988, 1989.
Um, PN or PNBA and the NABBA, and you're still active in those competitions at the age of 60, correct?
That is correct.
And you're still winning quite a bit of them. Well, at age 50, I know there's a 50
But
and over category you were winning, and now you're at 60, so now there's the 60 and over.
repeat.
Oh, you're still winning those competitions. You're still active at age 60. You haven't lost any muscle mass whatsoever. Um, Oh boy. Okay. You're still, yeah, you're still winning all these. You're still active. Um, buffering issues. Yep, I was afraid of that. Well, let me go on.
Yes.
Did you do any combat sports like I don't know boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, any of that before Mortal Kombat or after? It's like there's still some issues here. I fired the question in the chat. Now the audio's off. Oh, your mic is muted. There you go.
All right, now can you hear me?
Yes, your mic was muted
Okay, yeah, I
actually.
studied karate early on, about when I was 6, 7 years old, but then I gravitated to kung fu. I did that for like 9 years. Um, and that's just about as I did a lot of kickboxing on the side, with a bunch of different instructors. So about as I'm not like Danny and them where they studied and went abroad and everything like that. And no, I mean mine was basically it was just a hobby. It was for fun.
There was last year. I attempted to do a April Fool's joke for the Goblin Ghost Arcade, and where Goblin Ghost was going to open Goblin Ghost Wrestling, and one of the matches that was booked was all the Mortal Kombat actors were going to have, for the first time, a battle royal. But Dr. Mac was fighting some sort of copyright battle, so I couldn't keep that joke up online for very long. I had to take it down. But April Fools,
Yeah,
you had to come up
I
with
never heard
something.
about that one.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
um. So you're a military veteran. Where did you serve?
Iraq.
Served in Iraq, and what? How long was your tour of duty?
12 months.
12 months. And
Yes, sir.
uh, being about to be joined by uh, cats are looming under me, and they're wanting to be on the stream for some reason. Well, they always want to crash the stream, but um, tour of Iraq. Any stories you've got? Any stories? I don't think you've talked about your tour of Iraq previously. Um, anything you saw back then on that you're allowed to talk about today that major significance?
We see a lot of things. I mean, we saw blowing up shit. uh, I mean, because I was in artillery, so I did not have to go into towns and villages. I mean, my job was to sit there and see the enemy coming, and then call in fire for effect for artillery or for the A-10s to drop bombs on them. They were at least 2 or 3 clicks from us. So, I mean, we were like right on the border over there. So that was what we did. Now, after I got out and it went to Afghanistan, that's a whole different ballgame. So Desert Storm was nothing like Afghanistan.
Now, I seem to recall that back then the soldiers had to wear quite a bit of military equipment because of risk of, let's say, bioweapons, and in the desert where temperatures are like over 100 degrees, I can't imagine it was too comfortable
Well,
wearing all that. Go ahead.
well, we did not wear it all day. I mean, we would have drills on it in case, but no, we would not wear it all day. There
Mhm.
was always a threat of um, biohazards and chemical warfare, and we did have what we call mop suits on, but we would only put the suits on when the captain or something wants to go through a drill.
Mhm.
But other than that, we were not exposed.
All right. So let's get back to Mortal Kombat a little bit. Um, hopefully the connection will stay stable the rest of this podcast, but you're known for being Jax. You appeared in MK2, MK3, and then Ultimate MK3. Um, Starting with number 4, they decided to digitize, or I mean, I guess do CGI versions of all the characters. Um, what are your thoughts
Yes.
on the evolution of the Jax character throughout the franchise? And I'm going to throw this up here if I can. I'm going to hide this. It's basically showing video of how you looked in each video game, or at least the character.
See, MK4 looked all kind of weird, you know. And the Deadly Alliance, that Jax is okay. Yeah, wasn't my, yeah. Yeah, see, they really got the character good again in MK9.
And for MK1, they basically had you as a cameo, not as a playable character for the most part.
I've never even seen the MK1.
You've never? Wow. Okay,
No,
well,
never
for
seen it.
some reason, they didn't make you a playable character. They kind of went back in time to where you didn't have the bionic arms. Although, gosh, Sonya was a
Yeah,
cameo as well.
that was the MK that was the MK2 look.
Okay.
MK3 is when the arms came in.
Yes. And I did watch the story of they didn't buy enough paint. They underestimated how
Yep,
much
they
paint
did
they
not
had to
buy
use,
anything.
and you had to sit around for 6 hours with your arms out like
That is
this.
correct.
Although
On
you had to
music
do
stands.
this, they should have ran fans on those arms so
Yep.
that paint would dry faster. Um, and of course, now it's like, let me throw this up here as well. Maybe I can find. There it is. Well, this isn't
Yeah.
it. Um, I think I'm getting my head of myself, but after they went to CGI models for MK4 and onward, fans have kind of continued the tradition, kind of the original look of Mortal Kombat. Um, this would be Mortal Kombat Project, or one of the iterations. Um, they keep using the same digitized sprites, but they modify them. And they've incorporated the sprites from the digitized version of Street Fighter, the movie, and then WWE World Wrestling Entertainment characters from the WrestleMania arcade game, and then some out of place characters like Homer Simpson, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and Goku from Dragon Ball Z into this game somehow. And whoever did this particular mod, they gave you orange arms this time.
Yeah, I see.
I mean, what are your thoughts about this? That people are still making Mortal Kombat games based on the original look of the arcades 2 and 3.
Well, I mean, those are the ones that are the most popular because those are real people. So they tried like in 4 and 4 and up until they got to 9, they were kind of iffy and became kind of cartoonish. So
Right.
they had to go back to the original. And, that's Ed Boon. And, he had to stay true to the form because that's what people wanted. They didn't want, the fake stuff.
Now you worked with all these folks, like, I believe this is Becky. Guess I forgot her last name. The actor.
Spring. Uh-oh.
Crane?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, I watched. Yeah, you turned her into a baby in this particular shot.
What?
You play this. You see yourself on screen, and then you fight all the way to the end, and then basically finish and pops up on the screen. You came up with some of the fatalities, but when you saw yourself for the very first time being killed by an opponent on the arcade game, what was your reaction? Oh, he dropped away. Parrish is still having technical problems. Well, this. Let me see what's going on here. All right. Yeah, unfortunately, we've been having technical problems all night here. Let's see, he should be back.
Yep, I'm back.
I don't know.
I don't know what happened.
I have to deal with this every day with my place of employment. I'm IT. I'm help desk.
Yeah.
I have to diagnose and troubleshoot all this crap every single day for the state of Illinois.
Good luck.
Yeah. And I also read that you have an IT company as well.
Yes, I do break fixes and set up small business networks.
Good grief.
Yep, I used to be corporate, so I didn't, the new people came in and wanted to micromanage people, and I said, I'm better off doing this by myself on my own time. It's not that hard. I can do it from home.
Although we seem to be having problems tonight, trying to figure out why everything's not wanting to work, not wanting to behave itself. It seems like the connection is stabilized now, finally. Now we're having a good conversation.
Who knows?
Hopefully I can get through the rest of this because, I'm going to have a lot of post-editing work to do after this to make this for the rebroadcast look good. Anyway, let's try this. Let's continue on here. Let me throw this back up here. So, let me go back. I'm going to throw this. This is the traditional playthrough of MK3. So let me go back. Well, I can't go back. So you're at the Comic Cons. You do those pretty frequently. I know somebody. You're still putting out material, doing the autographs, making the appearances, maybe selling artwork of pictures of yourself in the MK attire. I know in the last couple of years, Warner Brothers, or at least somebody representing the legal team, have been running around, I guess, complaining about it. Paul Niemeyer, in particular, who created the Mortal Kombat logo, um, got, I guess, a visit from unwittingly, I guess, some Midwest Gaming Classic, and he had to stick signs on his backdrop saying Warner Brothers is forbidding me to show off this artwork. Did Warner Brothers give you a hard time? I guess still trying to benefit from, let's say, paraphernalia and stuff from your work with Mortal Kombat, or have they largely left you alone?
Me and Danny, we were having T-shirts made about a decade ago, and Warner Brothers put a cease and desist letter or email, um, and then some kind of way it vanished. And so for the most part, because I would respond to them and with a counter legal argument saying, look, you may have bought the franchise, but you did not buy our images. Because our contract in reality was signed with Midway, not with Warner Brothers.
Right.
So as far as I was concerned, plus I have an associates in paralegal, so I'm like, no, you don't own me. Okay. Okay, now we can negotiate and we can do another agreement for an image or something. But other than that, I said no. I said because our agreement was with Midway, not with Warner Brothers.
Right.
So they bought the rights to Mortal Kombat, and they got all of the staff who created it, Ed Boon, Carlos, and the rest of the team. But as far as the actors themselves, no. So and then Danny was always fighting with them. So they wouldn't, when we went to conventions, they wouldn't let Danny, Tony, and them wear the Scorpion or Raiden outfits.
Right.
But they never messed with me because I said, "What are you going to do? Anybody can buy tights. Yeah. Those combat boots are mine." Okay. So what are you going to say?
Plus,
so they left me alone after they just said, "Forget it."
Plus, there's a lot of cosplay going on. It's like, you're going to tell people they can't cosplay?
Yeah, that's what they wanted to do. From what I heard, that's what Warner Brothers wanted to do. They wanted to ban all cosplay with Mortal Kombat and even other characters in whatever games they play, people play. And it didn't go. It just didn't go. So, I mean, I haven't heard from them in a long time. So, and I don't expect to hear from them.
I know Paul Meyer also fought back. Go ahead.
Yeah, because next week I'm doing a charity dance for breast cancer called Dancing with the Celebrities. And I will be dressed as Jax. And I'm the celebrity. So I'm like, it's going to be, it was already televised yesterday for a teaser. So it's going to be on the news. It's going to be on television.
Right.
So, I mean,
yeah.
So what are they going to do?
I know Warner Brothers is having their own problems right now. They've I think the news this week is they've canceled the Wonder Woman game, uh, and they've closed a couple of the gaming studios that was under their umbrella because I guess losses and stuff. They're reeling over the Suicide Squad video game. Warner Brothers currently owns the Mortal Kombat, or at least NetherRealm Studios, or at least it's being distributed, or I guess they're the distributor. You say you've not played MK1. Jeez, that's gonna make it hard for me to ask about.
Yeah, because
do you like the direction the franchise is going?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
No, I don't think none of us know which way it's going. Because we haven't spoken to Ed Boon in about 2 or 3 years, so we don't know.
Oh, okay. Let me ask. I wrote notes down and it's all out of order, and because of the connection problems, I can't get a flow going here. But Mortal Kombat got adapted into a movie. There's been 3 of them that have been put out. I think the very first one that was created made the most money. The reviews might be not the greatest. But
nope.
Your thoughts on the MK movie, or which one was your favorite, or which? Go ahead.
The one that they just released a couple years ago in March, that was my favorite. Okay,
but
the first one, I'm like, well, the first one, Jackson, I'm like, it's not the character. They didn't really portray the characters the way we really are and the way we are in the game. And in that 2, the Annihilation, that was just a comedic joke. Okay. Yeah. That was just a comedy. That was a comedy of damn errors, But then, they came out with this other one, the latest one, and that one I said if they were sticking to the storyline and how we are. So I like that one, and they were supposed to make another one after that, because COVID came and all of a sudden something got messed up. Right.
So you still real close with all the MK actors. I've met a lot of them.
Yeah.
I don't think I certainly have not met all of them yet. Katara Jades Molina, I believe I met her for the first time at Midwest Gaming Classic last year. Carrie Hoskins, I finally met at Pinball Expo because she's still portraying, I guess, getting acting roles in gaming. Although this was a pinball machine, Galactic Tank Force. Have you had anybody, like, say, try to hire you to portray any other gaming characters? The question was, has anybody tried to asked you to portray any other gaming characters?
Whoa, buffering.
Stand by.
Here. What is going on here?
I think you're stable. There we go. The question was, has any gaming studio asked you to, or tried to have you portray any new gaming characters?
Oh, there it is. Jesus.
Doggone you, Comcast! Anyway, I'll type the question out. Other gaming characters. I typed the question out. Man, this is going to be quite the editing job. Okay.
Oh, shit. I'm buffering.
You're buffering. Uh-oh.
No, I have not. No, they have not.
I seem to think that I found a video where you were supposed to participate in some other fighting game in 2016. Or did I misread the video?
Yeah, no, I forgot the name of that. I don't know what happened to that. We had signed the contract and everything, and I can't even remember if I was paid for it or not. I was paid half of it, and then somebody else bought that studio, and then they crushed it.
They scrapped it.
So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was supposed to fly to California, and I forgot the name of the game. It was so long ago. It's almost 10 years ago. Wow.
Yeah. I want to ask you this. Oh, this is done. Any road stories you have from gaming conventions you've gone to or arcades you've visited? I guess to do a signing or what have you.
Well, I mean, yeah, we've been to San Antonio. We've been to the C2E2 in Miami. We did Mortal Kombat. Was that 2 in Reno? So we've been to quite a few places. California, Dallas. You know. So I mean, it was good people. They're all, we were always treated well. Out of this whole gaming thing, especially with Mortal Kombat, we saw the rise of adult type thing with video games and a bar. Barcade is what they started calling them. We saw the rise of that, which was really interesting and neat. But yeah, we've done so many of them. I mean, they're all unique in their own way. So we go out, we have fun, we love the fans, they love us, and we have a good time.
Do you participate in the fighting game community at all? Let's say on a competition basis. I know I've seen some times where you and this guy's joined the podcast. He was going to show up sooner or later. This idiot. I've seen you play Mortal Kombat as yourself against other players. How good or bad are you at your own video game?
I'm bad, very bad. I'm very bad. I mean, my daughter beats me with Jade, and her name is Jade. Because I don't know all of the moves that they do. I'm just like, okay, huh?
You don't know the moves your character does? I know you had to shoot it.
Not on the game, no. I figure it out once I get my fingers warmed up, but other than that, I don't know up, down, hit button. No, I don't know any of that.
Okay.
because we don't really play it. Most of the characters, we really don't play the game. We're in the game. We know how to fight for real.
All right. Well, since we've been having so many problems with the connection, kind of run down your upcoming appearances. Any conventions that you'll be appearing at in the near future?
Yeah, we're going to San Antonio Memorial Day. Just got word on that. Let me see what that is called. Let's break that down. Memorial Day weekend. It's called what is it? I thought I put that in there. 23rd. Is that? Damn.
San Antonio Gaming Con? Maybe I can find it.
Yeah, something Retro City Fest.
Oh, okay.
Where would they go? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, May the 3rd through the 4th, we'll be at San Antonio Retro City Fest.
Okay.
Well, not May the 3rd. Actually, it's Memorial Day weekend. I got to change it here. No wonder. It's supposed to be there. To 25th. There we go. That's better. So that's what we're going to be. Well, we don't know about MGC yet, so that's supposed to be in April, but we haven't had any confirmation yet. So
wow.
Dan wanted us to do something different, so we don't know.
This will be my 21st. I've gone to MGC for 21 times. Well, this will be my 21st time.
At the MGC?
Yes. I've gone 20 straight times. Starting from 2004, I have not missed any of them. I know they're still announcing celebrities.
Yeah, so we don't know yet. So it's up to Dan.
I know Niemeyer's not going to make it. Brian Cohn's not going to be there either. Sheesh. The contingent of the Midway Monsters. Niemeyer's going to go Arizona this time around. Let's see. What about future projects? Do you have any future projects that you're working on that we're going to hear about in sometime in the near future?
Not that I know of.
You said you're participating and you're doing some sort of Dancing with the Stars, but you were going to be in full Jack's getup.
That's the plan. If I can get my daughter, her to respond, yeah, so my daughter can paint my arms.
Oh, she's got paint. See, now I thought they would have made you some custom sleeves to wear, so you wouldn't have to go through the painting, but it would look like it's like wrestling gear or whatever. Like the ring robes and the
yeah, I've been
gimmicks.
looking for it, but I haven't found it. Yeah, but I haven't found anything online that I seen silver sleeves, but if you notice, Jack's his pattern goes all the way in the back.
So somebody's got to construct it for you.
We'll see. We'll see how it's going to play.
We gotta find somebody that
I mean, if I buy silver sleeves, the question is, I got to. Yeah, and it has to move. That's why when you paint my arms, it's easy to move. And we have the fast drying paint now. It dries within 5 minutes.
Ah, okay. I've got to ask you about this since I had this
So
loaded up.
technology has changed. Yeah.
All right. I got to ask you about this because I had this loaded up.
I want the small guy.
This is the infamous Jax takes on. Cat just yanked my cord, my headset. This is a video, and this is one of the most popular videos on my channel. You took on Arm Champs, and the significance of that is basically the arm you're grabbing onto looks like your arms. When you have the MK3 arms, anyway. Well, you chose a lesser opponent, but Specs is like the robot at the end, but you just tore through this like a knife through butter. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah,
Too easy?
That was a fun game.
I think if there's any game
for me, it was easy.
Yes. If there's any game that you're a master at, it's this one. Because kids are on it all the time.
Yep, that would be the one.
Well, what did I have in mind? I had something to follow up, and it slipped my mind here. Yeah, you're just crushing these people. Like they're not competition. See? Boom. I'm not muscular. I know James White tried this right after you did, and it's like he went to all fours on the ground.
He said, I want you to come down here and unveil it for me. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and this guy wasn't in any competition either. I didn't ask you about Gabingos Gamma. Are you still a trainer over there? Are you still a trainer at Galpingos Gamma? Sent you a message.
Excuse me, say that again.
Are you still a trainer at Galpingos Gamma, the gym?
No, I'm not. I created my own business, and I also work for LA Fitness as their lead instructor in the Southwest suburbs.
Okay, because I remember you were over there for quite some time. I didn't know. Oh, it's buffering again? Okay. Well, let me ask you this. This will be a final question. Any future goals?
Yeah, my future goal is to become an IFBB pro either this year or next year.
What does that stand for?
International Federation of Bodybuilding.
Ah, okay. Have you organized
the creme de la creme of bodybuilding?
Have you? Gosh, this guy's yanking my cord. Have you organized a bodybuilding competition?
Oh, no, gosh. It's very political. It's very political to organize a sanctioned bodybuilding competition. You have to be part of one of the federations. Very political.
Is there any bodybuilders that we need to keep our eye on? That you know?
Big Samson right now. His name is Samson. He is a big boy. Samson Dada. Okay. From Nigeria. He's the reigning Mr. Olympia. The boy. He is he's a beast.
Here's James White, and he's struggling with this. He's not muscular either. I'm certainly not. I never was an athlete. And yeah, just after this, he's about to collapse to the ground. And there he goes. Sheesh. Nope, I guess it's one more match, and then he's going to try to test his might. Test your might. And boy, look at him struggle. Now he goes to the ground. My goodness. I didn't do any better at this game. I think I played it before you got on it. And no, I didn't work out for me either. All right, I'm gonna drop this. All right, John Parrish, I want to thank you for coming on the Crimeycade. I wish the connection issues were better. Yeah.
Well, that's the world of streaming now. It's the world of streaming. I mean, according to my speed test said I was A-OK up to 4K resolution and everything. So, you were buffering, I was buffering, on, off. But it's welcome to the world. It is what it is. We got through it.
Yes. I wish, I would have done more of a conversation. But yeah, the tech is, seems like I gotta get into a groove, and because of all the interruptions with Comcast not behaving itself tonight, I just couldn't get into a flow. And I have high standard, but the internet decided to it had other ideas. Maybe all the doggone wind and the doggone blowing of the wiring maybe had something to do with it, but I don't know. I'll have to figure out what the heck happened. But I want to thank you for joining me here tonight, and maybe down the road we'll try this again and kind of do a better version of this.
All right, sure, no problem. Hit me up anytime.
All right. John Parrish, thank you for coming on the Crimeycade, and I hope to see you around the arcade soon. Or maybe Midwest Gaming Convention.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Good night.
Me too.
Well, that was John Parrish, and unfortunately, yes, connection issues played havoc tonight, and I wish things went better than it did, because I didn't expect this at all. Oh well, it is what it is. I have quite the editing job to come after this podcast to clean this up, to make this a little bit better of a flow for those watching this on replay, because yeah, I wish this went better than it did, but Comcast decided it had other ideas tonight. Well, anyway, this Sunday we have a special bonus pod, and Greg Sudunik will be on the pod. Special start time, Sunday, March the 9th, 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 1 p.m. Saskatchewan and Mountain Time. Why Sunday? He was only available on this particular day, so I had to accommodate him. So next time we'll have him on the pod next time, and we'll talk about his perfect Pac-Man run and other things, other topics. But that's not all. Next week, We'll also have as our regular Thursday night episode, Josh Penny and Matt Swartz will join me, and we'll talk about arcade restoration, a little bit of a mini roundtable. That'll be Thursday, March the 13th on the Crimeycade. And that'll do it for this edition of the podcast. I'm the Mad Conservative Crime Fighter, and hope to see you around the arcade soon, and have a good night, everybody.